Happy Mismo Monday.
Hello, everyone.
We are back. We are so back. You know, I feel as though we are not back.
Yeah.
But you are back.
It's a house that sports and musical theater built.
It is.
It's two things that we absolutely love, and you don't meet a lot of people who love both. We're going to talk about theater today. Not so much musical theater, but theater school.
Yes.
Revisiting with some new thoughts. If you listen to the old episodes pre-YouTube, we spent quite a bit of time talking about theater school.
We did.
I feel too much, and I feel it was me, and I feel that it was self-indulgent to talk that much about theater school. But we're going to revisit it and put it to bed. But before we get to that, it's the NBA playoffs, and we're recording on a really specific night. I have no idea what the Knicks are going to be up to by the time this episode airs. But the Lakers have been eliminated from the playoffs.
I will speak as the Lakers fan in the house. Thrilled we got past Houston. For anybody who's not a sports person, you gotta know.
Just skip ahead. This will be over in 7 to 12 minutes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We'll see you on the other side. The Lakers, you gotta know who the Lakers are, right? Are basically, we have LeBron James, and we were missing two other key players. So we made it into the playoffs miraculously. These two players went down right before the playoffs, so we were like, "Oh, we're not going to have two of our best players for the playoffs. We're not getting past the first round." But we did. We made it past the first round.
You really defied the odds.
We were genuinely shocked. I very much did not expect them to make it past round one. We made it past round one, and we were facing the Oklahoma City Thunder, who they are the
defending champions.
So what I wanted out of this was good basketball. I did get that, not particularly from the Lakers.
It would have been nice to win a game.
It would have been nice to win a game. I think I was mostly disappointed just because we got swept, and I was like, win one. I'll say game 4 against OKC was really exciting. Like, they made it really interesting in the third quarter, like getting into the fourth quarter. We started getting close. Not even getting into the fourth quarter, like towards the end of the game, like Rui hitting that 4-point play. Like it was really, really exciting. So they gave us a glimmer of hope, but I never thought we were going to win the series. These are the defending champs. OKC is so good. I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I also love Alex Caruso, who used to be a Laker. I feel like a lot of people who are listening to this at this moment are like, she knows ball? Yes, I do know ball. This was almost a sports podcast as well, just for anybody like wondering. Like, that's how much we talk about sports in this house.
Like, when we say Mismo, part of that comes from like sports and musical theater being so opposite, but we view them as kind of very, very similar.
Yes, and they're both very important to us. So
deeply.
Yeah, like if you're listening to this and you're like, I can't believe she knows anything about sports, surprise. I also started playing golf. That's a different story.
She's getting good fast.
Thank you so much. I'm slightly injured right now. Weirdly, not technically from golf. It's an old injury that like reared its ugly head with my
theater injury.
Hilarious.
A musical theater injury.
Hilarious. Yes, it is a musical theater injury. But I'm loving playing golf. I'm very competitive. We've discussed this in previous episodes. Anyway, I am sad that my Lakers are not going any further. However, I am pleased with where we were in this season, and I hope that when we come back next year, we are very healthy. And I said in my wedding vows that if I was not rooting for the Lakers, I would be rooting for the Knicks. Mick?
Okay. Okay. It's the night before Game 7 of Cleveland versus Detroit. The Knicks swept Philadelphia, and we have been chilling all week. Through 10 games, we have the highest point differential in NBA playoff history. 194 points. Better than our opponents so far. We did lose 2 games, but only by 1 point each because CJ McCollum
decided to whoop some ass, honestly. Like, he was amazing.
In round 1 against Atlanta. and they won. They were up 2-1.
Yeah.
New York was hitting the panic button. Stephen A. was furious that we gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. He was yelling about it on First Take. And then, we haven't lost since. We've won 7 in a row. I've seen a lot of horrible things as a Knicks fan. Being a Knicks fan has been a valuable skill for being an actor because I'm comfortable with rejection.
Oh, no.
I expect disappointment. And so sitting here 8 wins away from a championship, 4 to get past the Eastern Conference Finals and 4 to win it all. I'm not expecting that to happen. But I can dream. It's not crazy. There's 5 teams left. We're going to be in the top 4.
I keep saying, I think this Knicks team is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine another team getting to winning 4 games before the Knicks can win 4 games. And that's the whole game. You just have to win 4 games before the other team does. And I really think, I don't know. I know you've seen a lot as a Knicks fan, so I'm knocking on wood, but it just, I don't want to jinx anything, but it looks nice. They're looking good.
I love what I'm saying. I can't believe it. I was talking to a Knicks fan about, like, where does this rank all time for Knicks? And, like, the thing I've been most excited about ever, maybe. Okay, there was the 1999 finals, but I was 9. And also Patrick Ewing tore his Achilles. And, like, the Spurs kicked our butts. A young, emerging Tim Duncan and a veteran David Robinson were too much for us without Pat Ewing. And so then you have to get excited about, like, little things. Because we don't win championships. And we haven't won since the early 70s. So Linsanity is the best thing that has ever happened to me as a Knicks fan. Which was awesome. But it was just like not a championship, you know?
That's true. That's true.
And the real thing could happen.
Yeah. They look phenomenal.
We look good.
And I will say on the flip side of the coin, the Spurs also look phenomenal.
Spurs look great.
I feel like I'm 50-50 now. In the West, I feel like it could be OKC or the Spurs. It will be either OKC or the Spurs. I don't know. I don't have a strong feeling either way. I think Wemby is a beast. I think that Spurs team is so good.
They're so good. OKC. Okay. Either way, if we play against OKC, then we're playing up against Hartenstein, who left us to go to the Thunder and won a championship and rightfully left us. Yeah. But Mitch and Hartenstein together was such a dynamic starting center and backup. Like that was such a nice thing. We were so good at offensive rebounding. But then, like, because he left, we went and got Cat. Like, it all worked out the way it needed to work out. Yeah. That would have been OKC. Now, I want to play the Spurs. For whatever reason...
the alien?
For whatever reason, the Spurs match up very well against OKC. They were the only team that made OKC look bad during the regular season.
Right.
I think they will do that. Now, the Knicks beat the Spurs in the NBA Cup and did not hang a banner. They said, that's not enough. We don't care about that.
What do you have against people who hung banners for their NBA Cup?
I didn't call Leon Rose and say, hey, make sure that banner doesn't get hung. They just did it. Mm-hmm. And I follow what they do. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm happy for the Lakers that you have 17. You felt the need for one more. Take it. Have it. Go ahead. We have 2. And they're dusty. Okay? They're 50 plus years old.
Could have hung the third one.
Well, for whatever reason, they felt no. They felt no. We're not hanging it. But the NBA Cup felt like vengeance.
Sure.
For 99 when the Spurs kicked our butts in the finals.
So you think?
But they said, no, it's not enough. We're not happy with that. We gotta be better. We want the whole thing, and we've waited. So if we get the Spurs, then we get the Spurs, and then Patrick Ewing's gonna be there on the sidelines, like with LJ and Spree and Allen Houston. They're all gonna be there. But Detroit kicked our butts all regular season. If we get them in the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm very nervous. Right. I'm very nervous. Jalen Duren's playing not as well as he was in the regular season, but don't you think he's going to pick it up against the Knicks?
I feel as though the same thing happens to both the Knicks and the Lakers in that, like, because these are two teams who are, like, you know, marquee teams, the Knicks and the Lakers, they, like, kick it up a gear. Teams kick it up a gear against either of those teams, you know?
Oh, guys love to go off in the Garden. It's a thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for the Lakers, I know that, like, there's a joke that if there's somebody on the injury report, like, they will not be on the injury report against the Lakers because everybody comes back to, like, kick our butts, which is so funny.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I don't know. Jalen Duren could be like, you know what? Let me lock in.
Yeah, he might. He's so strong.
Yeah. So
I feel like he could give Cat problems.
Listen, if you are wondering what a conversation sounds like just on any given day in our home, you've found it.
I like that you started off by, like, you didn't even say AR or Luca. You were, like, explaining on a very, very basic level, and then we just went
and then I forgot.
We're just like, we don't quite know what who's listening to this. Probably not basketball fans, are you?
I don't know. So.
Maybe you are now.
I know we got a few basketball fans listening, I think. So I hope you enjoyed our rant about our teams. I'm really excited for the Knicks. I really am. You guys have been super fun to watch this, especially in this postseason.
Thank you.
Man, that game against Philly was wild, dude. So, you know, I'm rooting for you guys to go all the way. I really am. Carry the torch.
Okay.
You know?
We will.
Thank you.
We will.
Now, for our listeners who wanted to hear the rest of the episode, welcome back. Did you fast forward? This is our podcast. We can talk about what we want.
Sure.
You wanted to talk about college.
I feel like I was really hard on theater school before.
In our previous Mismo episodes.
In our
first 5 seasons.
Before the YouTube channel. I had some reasons for that.
Yeah.
But I'm also feeling like now I'll speak on a macro level and a personal level. Mm-hmm. Is theater school a good idea? This is a question we were talking to a lot of people about and trying to answer this question. How old was I? I wasn't 30 yet. So I was, like, much closer to having graduated theater school. It was still like a topic I was working out for myself. And we had a USC professor on. We had a lot of people who had gone to a lot of different schools. It was one of our favorite things to talk about.
Yeah. And a lot of people who were like me and didn't go to school and kind of just jumped right in and did it.
There's a big piece of the, like, what we talk to actors about. Like, we're all going through different problems, but they're all sort of Mismo at the end of the day. I was frustrated at that time that theater school did not lead to fast success. Mm-hmm. Given more distance away from it, I'm open to the possibility that it gave me tools for longevity that might end up being more valuable than a different path that might have been more likely to lead me to fast success in the entertainment industry.
Elaborate.
Well, my frustration was that it doesn't really directly prepare you for being an actor.
Right.
Like, a lot of the life skills necessary to just work and survive in a big city as an actor weren't really covered. Weren't covered as much as you would think. Also, I just did an amazing... Okay, so there's theater school, and then there's my theater school, and then there's how I felt about me doing theater school. My theater school was the University of Southern California, which is a great school. I chose to study theater in LA rather than New York or
Chicago.
Because I wanted to do film. I wanted to act in film and television. There wasn't like a acting for film major at the time. I think such a thing exists now, but at the time, it was not a thing. And so coming to USC, I felt like it was the best way of all of the options that were available to get a 4-year degree and set myself up to work in film and television.
Right.
But this Chapman film that I just did was better than any of the many student films that I did while at USC.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a big scholarship offer to go to Chapman that I turned down. And that is part of what my frustration was after school. My personal story with it was I felt like I wasted a lot of my parents' money. And I was so lucky that they had the money to say, like, USC is the better school. You don't have to pick Chapman just because you have a scholarship to go there. We will pay for USC. And that was a big investment in me and a big swing that they took. And I was frustrated with myself and with the school that I had not been able to make that decision financially make sense for like a decade. And now it's a decade and a half at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The math still doesn't math of me having done that. But as things are starting to go a little bit better and I'm starting to, honestly, I'm using that business degree from Marshall School of Business.
Business degree is everything.
That was my dad's one circumstance. He was like, I will pay for USC, but you also will get at least a minor at the business school.
Thank you.
Yeah, good call. Good call. You were right, Dad.
He's going to love this episode. We talked about sports at the top, and now he's taking him in the middle. Hello.
Well, and let me say something else about my dad and my mom. Like, that money that they spent, like, the Torres family is not old money. The Torres family, my dad's parents, are immigrants. And my dad grew up really poor. And he got the GI Bill to go to the Army, to put himself through school. He got his master's degree. And he did incredibly well in his career. So I think about the experience that he had. And my mom came from no money either. And they built the Torres family up to a point where we were living in a nice house. They were providing a great life. And they were able to say, I had like, it would have been like more than 50% of a ride for me to go to Chapman. Mm-hmm. And they said, you know, we did the research, we did the tours, and people are saying the USC network, like, that's worth it, and the school is amazing, and the school is amazing. But for them to spend their money and put me through theater school, it seemed like the best thing, and I expected to be able to prove them right in doing that. Okay, but I was really trying to say positive things about theater school here. I still think that I will. Mm-hmm. I just think it's taken quite some time. But I think it's like learning ballet for a dancer. It's a good foundation. I learned some things about theater that tie in now are starting to make more sense as to like why that ended up being important. Mm-hmm. A little bit less like immediately practical stuff, but I don't know, those things I have figured out on my own or from knowing people like you or Marissa who have experienced mentor type people who have helped me out along the way. As I'm talking about it, I feel like I'm sounding negative.
No.
Still.
No,
I'm not?
No.
Okay.
I think you're spot on with everything that you're saying.
Yeah. There's a couple of people who went to theater school and had quick success, like right out of USC. Or really out of any theater school.
Right.
The majority of us of the people who graduated are no longer pursuing acting.
That's just a fact.
What I think, like, we really were trying to answer the question for high school students with the old Mismo episodes, the pre-YouTube channel Mismo episodes of, like, should you go to theater school or not? And if you're a parent of a kid who's deciding on this, should you let your kid go to theater school or not? I think the reason it was so upsetting for me for so long was that my expectations were not accurate.
Literally, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. I thought I was going to school to learn how to be an actor in film and television and expecting that I would be able to work in that profession.
Yeah.
I learned something else. It made me a better actor, certainly. And I learned that I trained. I trained a lot.
I think...
But I also learned an appreciation for it and
Yeah.
a reverence for the history of it and a knowledge of playwrights.
I was going to say, you know so many more... I say this all the time to you. So many more plays than me.
Yeah.
So many more. You're so well-versed in all of that. And it's important to know that history. And I'm like, I feel very lucky that I have you to lean on in that sense. Because I don't know as much because I didn't go to school for it.
I knew that I loved it when I got to school, but it became a much more informed love.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The best actors, I shouldn't even say the best actors. The actors I think that you and I admire the most of them came from theater. So in terms of like thinking of longevity, thinking of long-term success versus like the quick hit, you know, I think you win there like so easily because there's a discipline that you learn doing theater. There's a history that you learn doing theater that isn't necessarily taught when you just like go out and get the job. Like child actors, unless we had a reason to like go back and like learn all of that, a lot of us, I'm not going to say all of us because I'm sure some people do, but like a lot of us don't have a knowledge of any of that. So the fact that you have that and you have that discipline is incredible. I feel very lucky because I didn't go to school for theater, but I started in theater. So I do like I have the discipline the pieces of every like theater kid, but I don't have the history knowledge that you do, and like the knowledge of the different techniques that you could have and all that stuff. So I've always admired that piece of your college experience. I think that's really, really cool. And then in terms of your expectations, I think that's it right there. Is like, if your expectation is that you're gonna like graduate from school and then become a star and it's just gonna like happen, then yeah, you're gonna be really disappointed. There are things, I say this to my kids all the time, there are things that you can't teach. For as much as I curated a curriculum for them, we've talked about this in previous episodes, but I've curated a curriculum for them so that they feel a little bit more prepared when they get on set for the first time. But I say in pretty much every class, you hear me go, you won't really understand this until you get to set, but I'm going to do the best I can with you. That's in my curriculum. I also say that when it comes to the actual just like normal acting classes that we teach at Actors Giving Back, I also say it there. Because I feel like a lot of times they have questions about like, well, we have different teachers all the time. Some of them tell us different things, so we're not really sure who to listen to. And AGB does that because there are multiple cooks in the kitchen when you get to a set. And sometimes you kind of have to like pick through all the noise and go, what's right for me? And figure that out. So, but we're teaching that to them in a vacuum. We're teaching that to them in a class setting. And you can only really learn that when you get to set. So there's just inherently, no matter if you're taking an acting class, no matter if you're taking a college course on it, on theater, on anything, there are certain things that you can't learn until you're out there doing it.
I learned more about film acting from doing ballet high than I did from all of theater school. At the time, USC had the collaborative process, which was a class, like an advanced class that I took. There were 8 film students and 8 theater students. So, and then the film school students, like, you got paired up in a team. It was like teams of 4, and we switched like 3 times throughout the semester. And we ended up making like 3 short films.
Great.
It was great. It was a great class. We got to, the film school students got assigned, like, somebody was the screenwriter, somebody was the director, somebody was the producer, and then they I think it was like they then cast the actors. It was something like that. So there was that, and then my professor Joseph Hacker, who wrote the book Auditioning for Camera, taught his class Auditioning for Camera, and that was pretty much it. I think they offer more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the time it was not as much crossover as you would have wanted.
Yeah.
I do sometimes wonder, like, to answer the question, should you go to theater school? The thing that I was just impressed at Chapman was Dodge College of Film.
Yeah.
Given everything that I'm doing now, would it have been smart to go get like a screenwriting degree, a film production degree,
right,
audition for the plays while I was there? Yeah, maybe I would tell myself, like,
right,
film production, screenwriting minor, and just they're just also squeezing that business minor, and then go audition for the plays.
Yeah. Man, you don't know what you don't know at that time.
Yeah.
And I think
I also didn't know that the industry was going to evolve in this way. We're all now like
doing everything.
Like, it's like not so unusual that we have a production company.
Yeah.
That was not what most actors did at the time.
You and I share that we both did not come from families who were in the business at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, it
was hard to find good advice.
It's really hard to find good advice. You don't know who to listen to.
Yeah. Even
like there was advice of like people I trusted on my team that I was, you do it and then you're kind of like, like where am I going with this? Where did this come from? And like, you just don't know what you don't know. So I'm sure now, knowing what you know, of course, now you're like, I should have taken a screenwriting thing. I should have taken this. I should have taken that. I think kids who come from parents who have a background in theater or in TV and film, like whatever that is, just a creative background in general, might have a better sense of like, oh, maybe I should go to school for this because it'll translate to X, Y, and Z, and this is what I really want to do. But you and I did not have that luxury.
I mean, to its credit, I did the BA program, and the BA is more of a general degree, so which ended up being valuable. I wanted to be BFA actor, but then like at the time they were like, you can't do the business minor, so if you do BFA, so you got to do BA, so that's what I ended up doing. But it was great because I did take multiple playwriting classes with Professor Oliver Mayer, and I absolutely loved him. Still love him. Mismo guest, Oliver Mayer.
We love Oliver.
And he's still doing great work around LA. Like, I still go to his stuff currently. Production, there was like theater production, wood shop, set design, costume, lighting. So I ended up, I did do that in theater for quite a while. Yeah. And just now, in the last 5 years, I've been
dusting off those boots.
Trying to transition that into film.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted to put that into film, but it started in theater for like a decade.
I feel grateful for things like Sundance Collab that like have, obviously I don't have the time in this moment in my life to go back to college and like learn all these really great things, but I love that they're offering classes from people who are actually doing this or who have done this. I just took directing, but they have screenwriting, they have producing, they have pitching, they have all of these things that you wouldn't necessarily even learn in a college setting that I feel like are super valuable for actors to take. And like, I think those, exactly know how long Sundance Collab has been around, but like I feel like things even like that weren't even available to us, God, 10 years ago, 15 years ago even. Like it feels like now all of us are like, let's learn everything that we can. And of course it's like hindsight is 2020. I'm sure I'm sure if you looked now you'd be like, I should have taken these classes.
I'm sure. Okay, so let's talk to juniors and seniors in high school right now and their parents. Let's say you've been the star of your last few like high school musicals and plays. You're one of the top 3 people in your theater program at your school. Maybe you've even done a few professional gigs. Maybe you've been on TV a handful of times. Maybe you've booked commercials. What are reasonable expectations for you to go to theater school while you're in theater school? And then what's reasonable to hope and expect when you graduate?
Oh, sheesh. Man, this is gross. It's so cliche. Everything I'm thinking is like so cliche. But like the first thing that came to mind was The Devil Wears Prada. A million girls would kill for this job. And it's true. There's a lot of people who want to be actors. So I think the first thing that comes to mind just in terms of expectations is like, this is really harsh. You're not special. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody has, if they didn't go to college for it, they've taken classes for it. They've tried something. They're in it. They're in it with you. So I think that's the first expectation to set. I feel like less so now because there's no like in-person audition rooms. But it used to be like, you show up for an audition and literally 50 girls who look just like you are in the same room reading for the same part. And it used to be like super demoralizing because you're like, oh man, like they're all here to do the same thing that I want to do. So I think it's important to remember that you are not above nor are you below anyone else. You are just like, you're there to audition to see if you're right for the gig. But don't come out of school thinking like, well, I was number 1 in my class here, so like I'm gonna be amazing. It doesn't always work out that way. I wasn't gonna say it.
That is exactly what I did.
I know.
All right, that's fair and logical, but I don't think if we say like your expectation should be to be not special in any way and to graduate and be exactly at the same level as everybody else doing this and have like very infrequent mediocre success, I don't think anybody's going to do it.
Right.
So I think still, I think I'm happy that I was naive enough to take the leap.
I agree.
Because I did and still do want to do this at the highest level. I don't care so much about being famous. Like, that actually seems like kind of a negative more than it does a positive.
Yeah, we just want to work.
But I want to work with great actors and great directors and great everybody. And I want to learn more and I want to get better at this. And I just want to use the skills that I have developed often. Mm-hmm. Like often enough to be getting better at it week over week.
You're so right about the innocence of starting.
Yeah. I think you have to believe.
Through. Yeah, it's what gets you through for a long time.
I think what you should expect though is if you are ambitious, you have to accept that you're asking the universe for a lot.
Yeah.
And it's only going to give it to you if you deliver with your very best shot. And I think my biggest mistake was I felt it was easy for me to be the lead at my high school.
Yeah.
I was a lot better than the other kids in that theater school. That wasn't hard. But I wasn't a lot better than everybody at USC, and I wasn't special by the time I graduated because I wasn't trying hard enough. And Ballet High is our best shot. That's truly our best work. And when it comes out, I will feel proud that I did my very best.
I think something that I feel like people don't really understand too, maybe this is a little like woo-woo, but in addition to like the things you may or may not learn in a theater school or may not learn on a set or in acting or whatever, there is tell me if you agree with this, there is an inherent amount of luck involved and
Yes.
serendipity involved in what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's all of it. I'm not saying like...
No, but the quote, the harder I work, the luckier I get, comes to mind.
Easily.
Right?
I think in terms of the universe, it's like, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Like, the universe knows when it's time for your name to be called. I feel that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't happen right away. Sometimes you're at the level where you're like ready to go, and the universe is like, not yet. You'll get there, but not yet. And that's okay. But I think that's important to... It's just an important thing that, like, I think about sometimes where I'm like... I know that we're ready, you know? And when the time is right, the universe, like... Yeah, we ask a lot of the universe, and, like, it will give it back to us. But, like... Yeah, there's a little bit of serendipity. It's sometimes... I won't say it's all, like, right place, right time, but, like, there's a little bit of, like... magic sprinkled when it's your time, and you're like, there it is.
It's sometimes the biggest successes in our life, like acting or otherwise, just kind of happen kind of easily.
Yeah.
And it's like all this hard work, and then like the big thing happens. It's just kind of like, it's just so right that it just...
Exactly.
You just meet in a bar and exchange numbers, and then 9 years later, you're married and you have a kid, you know, like sometimes things just line up.
Sometimes they do, huh? Wonder who that happened to. Yeah, it's a wild up and down. It's been really interesting to watch you learn from your time in college. And like, I feel like a good amount of these realizations came from just talking to our guests in Mismo in like the first 5 seasons, and just kind of hearing about other people's experiences, because some people did have some people loved going to theater school, and other people, you know, agreed with you at the time where it was like, man, what were we doing in there? Like, what happened in there?
Well, what I'll definitely say is theater school is so fun.
Is it really?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I never talk about that because I was so like results oriented of
right.
Like, I did that training. So what did that get me? And it's hard to on paper make it make sense, right. But you just get like, your final exams are scenes,
right?
You do a scene with a scene partner. You get the script, you rehearse with each other, you present. It's so fun.
It's so fun. That's great.
Not every class, like sometimes they're written, sometimes it's essays, but
still, I mean,
oh man,
damn. That's so cool.
It was the best.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a great time. You're reading a ton of plays.
Out of curiosity,
yeah.
What was your worst class in college?
Huh.
Oh,
a couple of stories I could tell. Okay,
sift through them.
Well, okay.
Oh no.
Well, acting 101.
Okay.
Was freshman fall, when I was also pledging.
Oh, dear Lord.
It was 8 a.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays. No, whatever day it was. I missed a lot of those classes. I was also hungover in a lot of those classes. Pledging ended early November. And I went to my professor and I said, I'm just gonna level with you, because I know my performance in this class has not been adequate. But like, I just got here. I can't fail. What can I do to make up my horrible behavior to you? Like, I was pledging. A lot of it I had to do. I'm so sorry. How do I make this up to you? She said, I don't have enough men in this class. So you will do, for your final exam, like the scene numbers, the girls don't have a scene partner. So you're going to be everybody's scene partner. And you're going to do 6 scenes for your final exam. And I will give you a C+ if you do that. And if you do it well. And I did, and she did.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
6 scenes? How long were the scenes?
Not that short.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so proud of you. That's ballsy to go to your professor. If you didn't go to her, would it have been a swift F?
Certainly.
A fail.
Certainly.
I love hearing his stories from college because I went to 1 semester at NYU. It was the happiest time of my life. Like I'll say it to the day I die. I loved that time of my life. It was so much fun. But like I don't have stories like that. I was still working at the time. I was still on Nickelodeon while I was doing it. So it's like I don't have stories like that. Again, the worst thing that happened to me in college was that my roommate had some like formal thing to go to, and somebody was underage drinking. Somebody was underage drinking. They called the cops, and I left because I was like, I can't do that. Absolutely not. So I have no stories like that from college. When he tells stories from college, I sit and I listen because it's so funny to me. It's so funny.
It's a different version of me.
Were you efficient in college? Because
No.
you're so efficient now. No?
No.
Wow. Yeah, really different version of you.
Cared a lot about what everybody else thought. Was more than happy to wait on a slow person to decide something stupid like where to go for lunch. Mm-hmm. Wasted an astonishing amount of time drinking, socializing. Blah. It's just so inefficient. so
woefully inefficient, he says. Oh, man. Well.
Chipotle.
Oh.
So much time wasted deciding to go to Chipotle. At the end of the day, we always went to Chipotle. It was like, literally, we would wake up on Sunday, hungover from Saturday, be like, don't you wish Chick-fil-A was open? Talk about that for 45 minutes. It's like, right, but it's not open. So, like, when are you going to realize that we got to go to Chipotle? And then they do, and then we go. I can't tell you how many times.
Do you want to go to Chipotle?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're as efficient as you are now. You've grown so much since that time. And you've grown so much since the beginning of Mismo.
Thanks a lot. I'm just out here trying to get that most improved award. Started low.
I just remember, like, there was I feel like one of the main arguments of like the first 5 seasons of Mismo was like, go to college or just go and do the thing. Take that money and go and like try in LA for a little while. And I felt like we leaned a lot towards just take the money and go and try in LA for a little while. And I think now maybe we're a little bit more balanced in that. It's going to be right for some people and it's not going to be right for other people. I don't know.
I'm going to give myself a little bit of credit. I haven't quit.
Yeah.
So if you think you need that quick hit of success, maybe theater school is not going to be the right thing for you.
Yeah.
But if you're committed to doing this for life, this is what you want to do with your life, I think it could be worth it.
I agree.
All right.
Well, go Knicks.
Oh, hey. Thanks a lot.
I think it's funny that I went to school in New York and you went to school in LA.
I know. I've never lived in New York.
It's the greatest. It's so beautiful. I love it so much.
You want to one day?
One One day I think I do. I
right
can't see us. We've said this before. I
Not
can't
with
really see
kids.
us raising kids there. Yeah, I've always pictured that in LA, but eventually, I love it there. I miss it a lot. But we have. I think that you said.
What would we do if we lived in New York? Theater and Yankees games and Knicks games.
Correct.
Sports and theater.
Sports and theater. And with that,
Good night.
see ya.